Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome, and super duper happy to have you here for round one of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in February tournament qualifiers for Group A. Brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunman and Glacier Gaming. And we got 3 rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way today. But first and foremost, for those of you who aren't quite acquainted as to who I am, I'm RedEyes, your ever-lovable and adorably cuddly caster. Bring you that daily dosage of butt kickery, tomfoolery, and all-around shenaniganism. And we are dealing with a stacked lobby today, boys and girls. We got Excused, Nucleotide Vendetta, Wildcard Beta, Phenomenal Crew, Team Kulafu, One Blood Esports, Just, 7C, Chick-fil-A, Ventrue Inc., Greek Storm Fem, Team Mobility, Growing Stronger, Old Gangsters, In-Game, GT Esports, Nuclear Power, GR Esports, Panda Esports, and The Criminals. So I'm expecting nothing but action right off the bat, and we are kicking things off with, you guessed it, an Erangel. And what do we need to say about a map like Erangel? It's basically the off-bred love child of Sandhawk and Miramar, which does leave it as the perfect middle ground between those two extremes. And it does, you know, it's the first map ever brought into the game. So yes, it should by all means, ooh, goodness gracious, sorry about that, you guys. It should by all means be the one that we are most familiar with here. And I am very well aware that you guys do not see the correct view here. So let me switch back, get that out. Here's the map view, and I will fix that for the next round. I'm so silly. It's actually working. I'm just running on 2 devices. So here's the flight path that we're actually going to be working with, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies about that. As you can see, it's not the most perfectly central at all, but it is going to leave it in close enough proximity to most of the westbound compounds, which is going to give a decent number of drop spots to an extent, not really a lot. But I am noticing already right off the bat, we're getting some early droppers. That's going to be Nucleotide Vendetta alongside the Phenomenal Crew dropping at the Primorsk area. So we're going to start by getting a brief little eye on them here. And for those of you just tuning in, this is, of course, round 1 of the $450 Dead in February qualifiers. Okay, so oh, we've already got action on the board. Goodness gracious. It looks like the crew in Wildcard Beta getting into some action, potentially. Yeah, it looks like Fresh already got a takedown. And look at that! Growing Stronger's Tygon was in the vehicle with them. Oof. Wow. Well, yeah, not a lot happening at this point from there after Tygon hopped out. So we're going to go right on back to the previously mentioned altercation between Nucleotide Vendetta and, I guess this would be Phenomenal Crew. Nope. Yes, Phenomenal Crew. And they got a little bit of space between them, and that's to be expected, you know, early game. Not everyone's looking for that early on confrontation, especially if you're just trying to get properly looted here. So I'm going to tune in for just a brief moment to Just, Team 9 here. Why? Because it looks like, yep, Winter has already been taken down, but retaliation, no, it's actually his teammate taken down as well. All right, well, this is going to exemplify the downsides of having people on your team that spread out here. I mean, obviously, they weren't all taken out in one spray, which is the advantageous note of it. But at the same time, when those two were attacked, their teammates were not around for miles to help. So it was kind of a little sacrifice. Now, this Nokia phone kid is, at least he's drowning himself here because he's not supposed to be in this match, and we kicked him out of a different group. So I apologize, guys. He must have gotten in there in the last split second, but he's in the water, at least not trying to take out people. All right, so here we're getting eyes on members of Team Kulafu, and they're in very close proximity to the Old Gangsters. Old Gangsters is a pretty renowned Tier 2 team in the NA community. A lot of synergy between them, so they're going to have to take this fight on fairly carefully, a little bit cautiously as well. As you can see, Catry holding position here just behind the lower building, while the inner parts of this building is being held down by XR. Oh, and just like that, Nucleotide Vendetta is going to decide to square off here. And now we've got Kabir pretty close to the altercation of Phenomenal Crew. Now, as it just stands to be, I'm going to keep switching in between these two teams here just because the action could break out at any moment at this stage. Yep. Well, that's Cray down, and his teammate Zerk trying to get a, oh, Spooky with a beautiful takedown, M4 hollow sight, too. All right. So Pratty coming in, not great on health, but his teammate Star actually taken out in the process as well. This is going to become a bit of a predicament here for the old gangsters, with everything riding on Jasa and Pratty now. Pratty is in desperate need of some meds, and as soon as he meds up, that nade hits, and absolutely impeccable timing to get that first aid off, because if he didn't in that split millisecond, he would have absolutely been knocked by that nade. Thanks so much for being here. We have a lot of people here for CRM, the criminals. Well, let's go have a look-see at where the criminals are up to at the brief moment. Currently, as you can note, where's my highlighter? I will turn on my stream deck after this one here, but my highlighter is right here. There we go. So Criminal's currently a little further down below the play zone, in closest proximity to 7C, and I will go ahead and tune into him just for a brief moment, just in case something actually ends up happening here. They're getting closer and closer as we speak. And I believe we had some people rooting for 7C as well, so this is definitely something to keep an eye on. But there, as you can see, there is a little bit of space in between them. However, Haiku here with a M16 4X combo, already catching a brief line of sight on his opponent. Sorry about that highlighter, guys. I will get that taken care of. Oh, and Katri from the old gangsters is going to be facing off with the likes of Kulafu here as we speak. So we're going to get a brief eye on it just to make sure we're not missing anything too extreme here. Uh-oh, Cray trying to get a little scope here through the window. This is double form. Oh, the nade on Katri! Oh, rough pill to swallow indeed. That is going to be a tough situation, but luckily Jasa is able to retaliate, revenge serve cold and fast, and he's going to be able to get the revive on his fallen teammate. Well, that altercation that has been brewing since the start of the match between Nucleotide and the Perilous crew, pardon me, Phenomenal crew, well, it is drawn to an end, and it's going to be Phenomenal crew Sopa clutching it for the team, and he will be able to get those revives off. Luckily for him, it's still early game, and that zone isn't hurting too much. But, well, anyone who's done a RedEyes event or knows anything about a RedEyes event, it is not going to be forgiving for very long. I boost all my zone damage, I boost zone closing speed, I boost the, I minimize the zone size at the very beginning. Why? It's so we can keep the ball moving. I know there's other events going on, but also because I'm a fan, I'm a spectator, and I enjoy watching these games, but I like watching it when the action is constant, and we keep the ball moving, no unnecessary downtime. And while that does not carry over into the finals, it is, I think, passable for a qualifier tactic here. Well, getting eyes here on 7C, we got Dope Boy, Kadon, and Softmax here remaining. It looks like their teammate Hubby has been knocked, unfortunately. Luckily for them, he's not the one closest by. Softmax has a real opportunity to catch them off guard. However, in doing so, he might end up if he's able to take out 2 or 3 with him, it might be worth it. And there's one on the board right away. All right, well, he's going to go ahead and advance. Here we go. This is the likes of Criminales versus 7C here. And, oh, that is a takedown by Softmax on one of the Criminales right there and then. Tough call. We're going to switch it to the Criminales perspective. Let them have a little bit of screen time here as well. I know we got people here rooting for them, so. There we go. We got Haiku here coming in with that UMP, but oh, the headshot just gets him in the last moment. Well, that's going to leave Blizz, and Blizz alone, he is the last criminal left. He does some amazing damage to Softmax. He does the rest. Oh my goodness. That's a tough pill to swallow, and the criminals are over as well. They're done for round 1 as well, but boy, oh boy, did they send a final message. I shouldn't say they. Softmax sent the final message, taking 3 of them out on his own. Getting eyes for a brief moment here onto the likes of Ventru Inc. They're pretty close in proximity here to Panda Esports. As you can see, Panda, well, maybe not as close as we once thought. Panda pulling a bit of a every man for himself vehicle tactic and getting an early rotation over from the western portion of the map into zone. And they have an opportunity to pull a little gatekeep if they so choose. But if you take notice, ladies and gentlemen, they're getting kind of sandwiched here in between the Ventru crew. So that leads me to wonder where our next bit of blood is going to come from. I would say if I had to be a betting man, it would be between the Wildcard Beta boys and the likes of GT Esports. And I know we got people rooting for GT. I see you in the chat, so here we are. Putting eyes on Lazzy, Carnage, Shadow, and Ultron. 0 kills to their name so far, but they got plenty of time here on the board to get that later. Being a full 4-person team can be an absolute imperative difference maker. You cannot place enough emphasis come in-game. Ultron holding position with that new 7.62 weapon, the Honey Badger, and the M4 as well, trying to just hold position in case of a potential push in from Wildcard Beta. However, given our perspective, we can tell that it's not as likely as he might think it is. But it does leave us with a bit of downtime here. And while we got a bit of downtime, I'm just going to go over the format as it currently stands, ladies and gentlemen. Now, keep in mind, while this is relevantly close to the mark, the structure has changed since this graphic. But I'll go over those changes as we go. So, we got 20 teams competing, and of those 20 teams, 4 will advance, because we run 3 rounds of qualifiers now, rather than 4 rounds. So that's 12 qualified teams, plus 8 invited Tier 1 teams, where they're all going to compete it out at the finals for the proverbial $450 cash prize. Let me make sure I got it right. There we go. All right. So, where's the next bit of blood going to be from? Oh, here we go. We got the crew and Excuse, and particularly Draco of Excuse, getting fairly close in proximity to his opponents. And it's either going to be Panda Esports. Yeah, pardon me. It's actually going to be Ventru Inc. And now it's somebody else close. It's Rosh cooking up a nade, trying to make it rain a little bit of hellfire on his opponent here. Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking too much of that from the caster's curse is all too real. As he is just ripped apart there. Luckily, he's got his crew here to try to retaliate, and revenge is served cold and fast as Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Walls is taken down in retaliation. So now we got ourselves a 3v3 on our hands. James getting a little closer to the action. As you can see, Ventru trying to enshroud themselves in a cloud of smoke, using what bits of cover they can. But the nade just rains hellfire on James, and he is down like a bad habit, leaving Draco as the final hope here for Excuse, desperately trying to stick a revive on his fallen teammate before that inevitable push from the remainder of Ventru Inc. And I stand corrected, because 44K is up and about right here. 44K cooking up a nade to try to add on to what his teammate did here, trying to get a thirst on Juan, who's already knocked. Will it be successful? It does not look to be the case. Tell you what, I'm actually going to move my camera here a little bit. Oh, Divine is out! Like a light right there. Goodness gracious, poor fella. Well, it happens from time to time. Well, luckily, Divine has his teammates Draco and James, but boy, they are both on fire, and the caster's curse is all too real. Goodness gracious, as they burn alive, that leaves James as the final hope here for Excuse, and he's got no excuse. He's got to get out of here, but I think, you know, all the attention's already brought onto him, so he doesn't have a lot of options here in this particular scenario. That's too close. And that is it for Excuse. Out for the count, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, well now we are taking off Phenomenal Crew, facing off against the likes of Just, and it looks like they got Just on their heels here, just trying to bow out, now focusing their attention over towards Panda. Oh boy, but retaliation is being shot in their direction. Does look like Just is not far off still to this moment here. I do like to see what Panda is doing there, getting that high ground. Now, whether or not they're going to engage in this is yet to be seen. I don't think they are. I think their priority here is getting a rotation, and I can't really blame for it at this stage. This is still round 1 of 3, and we've got a couple more matches to go here. And keep in mind, guys, only 3 matches to decide who's going to advance on to the $450 finals. While we do have 4 of the teams advancing, I admit that's a good portion. 20% ain't bad, but that still leaves 80% of the playing field left to weep at home. So in this case, it is going to take a little bit of finessing and effort and tactics and aggression all combined together. And it looks like we are going to be changing up the scoring system to match with official scoring standards here. All right, here we have it, guys. Phenomenal Crew up against the likes of Chick-fil-A, and I don't believe Chick-fil-A has had any screen time just yet, so I'm going to be devoting a little bit of attention here to the likes of Dark Sun, holding position with the Bison M4 combo. 3x on that Bison, gotta love it. Spectate GT Esports. I hear you. GT. There is no GT. Oh, yes, there is. I apologize to GT Esports. I'm not sure why I didn't see him the first pass through. But GT currently, the reason I have not spectated them yet is because they're a bit away from the action, just kind of holding position, not really getting a lot of attention at the moment. And that's perfectly understandable. Perhaps their strategy is to try to utilize a more aggressive tactic come in-game. All right, sorry about that, guys. Let's see here. All right, this inevitable standoff here between the Phenomenal Crew and Chick-fil-A continues to loom on here. We got NSYNC very low on health here, and just like that, Jikey with a nice finish, taking that guy out of the equation. He was knocked and almost made it to a position where he could have potentially been revived, but all for naught. Well, no time to waste, ladies and gentlemen. We've already got more blood here in the mix. It's going to be between the Pandas, and they're swimming in a crew of OG members, the Old Gangsters, out here on just the southern outskirts of Yasnaya Polyana. And we can hear some shots being put off elsewhere in the distance. Oh, and further down south, we got the likes of Nuclear Power, and they are facing off against their opponents in in-game. So we're going to go switch over and give... Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even think that Nuclear Power is even aware of the more immediate threat from a Panda. Got Monaco there. Moonco. Well, now they know now. The caster's curse is so real, and oh no! Just like that. Well, Nuclear Power is going to be getting in the thick of it, so we're going to go tune into them just briefly here, see what's happening here on the board for them. Looks like they're being driven by the same group as we previously mentioned. So, switching our attention briefly to the altercation here, a distance altercation between the likes of the Greek Storm Femme and their opponents across the way in Panda. It's not Panda who's firing here, is it? Oh, it's actually going to be the Old Gangsters having a bit of a distance battle with the likes of Wildcard Beta. Well, all that noise, hubbub, and commotion is no doubt drawing attention to the remainder of the Pandas as well. So they're going to have to be alert. However, this is where it all comes down to bloodbath warfare, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to get a little bit sweaty from this point out as the zone is shrinking further and further, and the damage that the zone does, dead zone does, is going to increase more and more. Our participants are going to have less and less space to choose from, as we all know. All right, switching over to the crew in GR Esports. GR holding position here. We got Gentleman OP just being a little bit of a patio guy, just kind of laying low, letting these numbers dwindle down and trying to get some placement for his team. They're pretty close by their opponents here in Wildcard Beta, it looks like. Yep, we got Fresh moving up here with a utility in hand, probably aimed inbound for the likes of GR. Now, I believe I'm going to go double check on GT because I know we got people rooting for them. I know you want to see them, so I'll go tune in. Currently, GT just above their opponents here in One Blood Esports. One Blood holding position, oh, not holding position, doing a 2-2 split here with two members prioritizing a push. And here we go. We got Lazzy engaging here with Honey Badger of all time, switching quickly to the UMP, but in that brief moment of switching, he is taken out of the equation. Ultron could be soon to follow, firing away that 3-4 is down as well. That is going to leave everything riding on Carnage and Lazzy, and those crew are also out of it. And just like that, that is a quick finish for the likes of GT. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we still have 35 people alive spread across 15 teams here. So let's get a look at the old gangsters who are potentially preparing to fire away in this altercation with not just Wildcard Beta, but also the opponents in GR Esports. Oh boy. Well, with Pratty out of the equation, it's going to leave things riding on Star, Katri, and Jassa. And as you can note here, we're going to switch our attention briefly over to in-game. In-game still holding position, but 2 kills to their name, 3 people up. Both of those kills currently going to Dodo92, I believe his name is. I could be wrong about that. Well, look at this. Growing Stronger is still down to their final member, but he is getting some placement for the team after all. Saigon trying his best. Oh, the nade raining right on one old gangster. Jassa is down like a bad habit here, leaving Katri and Kid Star to try to provide a little Overwatch, revives, and cover fire here. Well, what about switching our attention to Ventru? Look at this. Ventru with 8 kills. All between 2 players. Scratch that. Let's make it 9 as Taco gets another one on the board. All right, back to the basics here. We're going to go tune into Legend of Wildcard Beta. Well, Legend just trying to hold position here. He does not want to give away too much info because he's just a solo at this point, just swimming in a pool of enemies. He's got the old gangsters to his left, GR in front. Oh, speaking of old gangsters, Katri and Kid Star are just eliminated right before our eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, things are getting obnoxiously sweaty at this point here. And yep, we're going to see if we can get eyes on the last member of CFA. This is, of course, the Chick-fil-A crew down to Dark Sun and Dark Sun alone, dealing with the immediate threat of team mobility. He is able to get that first aid off just in time here. I say just in time, but somehow he hasn't been pushed yet. Trying to use what cover he can here. Thank you, Tiny. Huge shout out to Tiny, one of my amazing staff members. I have literally only a team of 3 people that run the entirety of not just my event, but basically everything I do. In terms of from my server, and it's Tiny, DeAsia, and Christy to head the bunch, and honestly, they are the 3 best staff members in all of PUBG Mobile, in a or any region except side. I do not care. They're the best. They work their butts off for me, and I can't thank them enough. So huge shout out. If you guys appreciate this event, be sure to thank Tiny for all the help that she contributes to our staff and keeping this event running. All right, tuning in to Just Esports, 3 kills, all of which go to Hani right here. And Hani's teammate, Shaku, is in big trouble. Now everything is riding on Hani and Hani alone. Pardon me, Han alone, Han 16. And Han is now potentially a solo. There's a dad joke. Boom. Well, switching briefly over to Ventru. Just as I do, Taco is down. That is going to be a dead Taco if Nidison can't do something fast. He's going to try to close the door and stick an emergency revive before an inevitable push from the likes of Team Mobility. All right, Sopa, the last hope here for Phenomenal Crew, just running into the thick of it here with a nade hooked up and ready to go for the likes of, I believe that's Justin. Oh, that zone is coming in. Here we go. I'm curious how this is going to work out. Sopa with some more nades coming from where the first one came from, but unfortunately also not doing any damage. Matter of fact, doing no damage at all and taking a lot of damage from these retaliation. Well, can't say he didn't put up a good effort there. Well, guys, this match is down to 4 teams. We've got Just Esports. We got In-Game. We got Growing Stronger. Down to 3 teams. Pardon me. It's going to be a 1 to end round 1, ladies and gentlemen. And here we have it. Tygon, look at this guy. Keeping the name alive for the team. But somehow Key has not gotten an angle on Tygon. Well, that wall, I suppose. Ooh, baby. And Key does get the finish there. Now it's all riding on him. He is outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned in a 1v3 scenario. Luckily for him, all the smoke that Just Esports did is probably, you know, a bit of an advantage for in-game speed. It just as much as it blocks him from seeing them, it blocks them from seeing him. And honestly, you know, I think he kind of needed that at this moment. Oh, I take it all back. Key's not alone, and Key's not even the heaviest hitter on the team right now. My huge, sincere apologies to SNN, I should call him. You're going to have to forgive me, guys. I got a lot of new lights set up in here, and they're all shining above the monitor, but they're a bit bright. And so when I look at this, I kind of get a little bit of starry-eyed. And it looked to me like he was the solo. I'll adjust the lights for next time. But. All right, that's coming down, and Key is out of there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, any way you look at it, that is game over. But we have got to give it up to the likes of Just Esports, taking the dub. But huge shout out to Han16, responsible for 6 of the team's 7 kills. In-game securing second this time around, and that is going to be with oh wow, 7 kills, not bad. Growing Stronger getting the bronze with 3rd place in 2 kills. The Pandas coming in, oh pardon me, yeah, Panda Esports coming in 4th with 3. The Phenomenal Crew in 5th with 8 kills, 2 per person. Everybody eats. Ventru securing 6th place this time around. And that is going to be with 10 kills. Wow, 10 kills between Taco and Nidason alone. Heavy backpacks. We got GR Esports. They're going to be taking 7th place with 3 kills. Coming in 8th, it's going to be the boys in TMGG. That is Team Mobility. They're going to be taking that with 2 kills. 1 from Relapse and 1 from Q. Wildcard Beta securing 9th with 2. 7C and 10th with 5 between Dopeboy and Softmax. We got CFA, the Chick-fil-A crew, coming in 11th with 1 kill. Let's see here. 12th place belongs to the crew in Nuclear Power, and they're going to be taking that with 1 kill from Jin99. 13th going to the Old Gangsters with 6, half of which go to Pratty. The, let's see, it's not Greek Freaks. This is Greek Storm Fem in 14th with 6. Pretty good as a 3-piece team to get 6 kills and be eliminating. If you're eliminated that early, 6 kills on the board is not bad. 15th going to One Blood with 4 kills, 3 of which came from Bing Bong alone. 16th is going to go to the crew in GT Esports. GT taking 16th with 2. 17th going to Excuse with 1 kill from Draco. We got CRM, the Criminals, in 18th with 1 kill from Blizz. Nucleotide Vendetta in 19th with 0. And, let's see here, pardon me, 20th place is going to go to Team Kalafu, and that's with 0 kills. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you all know the drill. Stick around, and we're going to be back in just a few short moments. Now, we have seen our participants here in the very first map ever of Erangel, but I am very curious to see what's going to happen when we take things to that wide open desert. I am, of course, speaking about Miramar as we return in just a few short moments for round 2 of 3 of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in February tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen and Glacier Gaming. Stick around. We'll be back soon. Going to be Panda Esports. Yeah, pardon me. It's actually going to be Venture Inc. And now it's somebody else close. It's Rosh cooking up a nade, trying to make it rain a little bit of hellfire on his opponent here. Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking 15 seconds. That's not even the caster versus all two. Yep. Well, that's Gray down, and his teammate Zerk trying to get a oh, Spooky with a beautiful takedown M4 hollow sight too. And so when I look at this, I seem to get a little bit starry-eyed, and it looked to me like he was a solo. I'll adjust the lights for now. All right, well, that's coming down, and he is out of there as with the likes of Kulafu here as we speak. So we're going to get a brief eye on it just to make sure we're not missing anything too extreme here. Uh-oh, Gray trying to get a little scope here through the window. This is double board. Oh, the nade on Catry! Legend just trying to hold position here. He does not want to give away too much info because he's just a solo at this point, just swimming in a pool of enemies. He's got the old gangster to his left, GR in front. Oh, speaking of old gangsters, Catry and Kidstar are just eliminated right before our eyes. Well, that altercation that has been brewing since the start of the match between Nucleotide and the Perilous crew, Phenomenal crew, well, it has drawn to an end, and it's going to be Phenomenal crew, Sopa, clutching it for the team, and he will be able to get those revives off. Luckily for him, it's still early game. That is it for Excused. Out for the count, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go switch over and get... Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even think that Nuclear Power is even aware of the more immediate threat from a Panda. Got Monaco there. Monica. Moonco. Well, now they know now. I can't think enough. A huge shout out. If you guys appreciate this event, be sure to thank Tiny for... all the help that she contributes to our staff and keeping this event running. All right, tuning in to Just Esports, 3 kills, all of which go to Hani right here. And Hani's teammate Shagu is on the board. Goodness gracious. It looks like the crew in Wildcard Beta getting into some action potentially. Yeah, it looks like Fresh already got a takedown. And look at that! Growing Stronger's Tygon was in the vehicle with them. Oof. Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Wallace is taken down in retaliation. So now we got ourselves a 3v3 on our hands. James getting a little closer to the action. As you can see, Venture trying to enshroud themselves in a cloud of smoke, using what bits of cover they can. But the nade just rains hellfire on James, and he is houses right there and then. Tough call. We're going to switch it to the Criminalis perspective. Let them have a little bit of screen time here as well. I know we got people here rooting for them, so. There we go. We got Haiku here coming in with that UMP, but oh, the headshot just gets him in the last moment. Ooh, baby. And he does get the finish there, and now it's all riding on him. 1 on the board right away. All right, well, he's going to go ahead and advance. Here we go. This is the likes of Criminalis. 7C here. And, oh, that is a takedown by Softmax on one of the Criminalis right there. And all right, this inevitable standoff here between the Phenomenal crew and Chick-fil-A continues to loom on here. We got InSync very low on health here, and just like that, Jikey with a nice finish, taking that guy out of the equation. And Catry and Kidstar to try to provide a little Overwatch, revives, and cover fire here. Well, what about switching our attention to Ventru? Look at this. Ventru with 8 kills. All between 2 players. Scratch that. Let's make it 9 as Taco gets another one on the board. of their opponents here in One Blood Esports. One Blood holding, not holding position, doing a 2-2 split here with two members prioritizing the push. And here we go. We got Lazzy engaging here with Honey Badger switching quickly to the UMP, but in that brief moment of switching here, Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking too much. That's that from the caster's first. It's all too real. I see it's ripped apart there. Luckily, he's got his food here to try to retaliate, and revenge is served cold and fast as Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Walls is taken down. Looks like their teammate Hubby has been knocked, unfortunately. Luckily for them, he's not the one closest by. Softmax has a real opportunity to catch them off guard. However, in doing so, he might end up if he does, if he's able to take out 2 or 3 with him, it might be worth it. And there's one on the board right away. With that UMP, but the headshot just gets him in the last moment. Well, that's going to leave Blizz, and Blizz alone. He's the last person left. He does some amazing damage to Softmax. His zone does the rest. Oh my goodness. That's a tough pill to switch between them, and that's to be expected, you know, early game. Not everyone's looking for that early on confrontation, especially if you're just trying to get properly looted here. So I'm going to tune in for just a brief moment to just Team 9 here. Why? Because it looks like, yep, Winter has already been taken down, but it's retaliation. Oh, it's actually his teammate taken down as well. Alone, Han 16. And Han is now potentially a solo. There's a dad joke. Boom. Well, switching briefly over to Ventru. Just as I do, Taco is down. That is going to be a dead Taco if Nidison can't do something fast. He's going to try to close. And here we go. We got Lazzy engaging here with Honey Badger of all time, switching quickly to the UMP, but in that brief moment of switching, he is taken out of the equation. Ultron pretty soon to follow, firing away that 3-4 is down as well. That is going to leave everything riding on Carnage and Lazzy, and those crew are all scored. Oh, Divine is out! Like a light right there. Goodness gracious, poor fella. Well, it happens from time to time. Well, luckily, Divine has his teammates Draco and James, but boy, they are both on fire, and the caster's curse is all too real. Good. Oh, Divine is out! Like a light right there. Goodness gracious, poor fella. Well, it happens from time to time. I'm curious how this is going to work out. Sopa with some more nades coming from where the first one came from, but unfortunately also not doing anything. As a matter of fact, doing no damage at all, and taking a lot of damage from retaliation. Well, can't say he didn't put it's going to be Panda Esports. Yeah, pardon me, it's actually going to be Venture Inc. And now it's somebody else close. It's Rosh cooking up a nade, trying to make it rain a little bit of hellfire on his opponent here. Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking too much. That's actually the caster's first. It's all too. Yep. Well, that's Cray down, and his teammate Zerk trying to get a oh, Spooky with a beautiful takedown M4 hollow sight too. And so when I look at this, I kind of get a little bit of starry-eyed, and it looked to me like he was the solo. I'll adjust the lights for next time. All right, well, down, and he is out of there as with the likes of Kulafu here as we speak. And we're going to get a brief eye on it just to make sure we're not missing anything too extreme here. Uh-oh, Cray trying to get a little scope here through the window. This is double board. Oh, the nade on Catry! Legend just trying to hold position here. He does not want to give away too much info because he's just a solo at this point, just swimming in a pool of enemies. He's got the old gangster to his left, GR in front. Oh, speaking of old gangsters, Catry and Kidstar are just eliminated right before our eyes. Well, that altercation that has been brewing since the start of the match between Nucleotide and the Perilous crew, pardon me, Phenomenal crew, well, it is drawn to an end, and it's going to be Phenomenal crew Sopa clutching it for the team, and he will be able to get those revives off. So luckily for him, it's still early game. And that is it for Excuse out for the count, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go switch over and get... Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even think that nuclear power is even aware of the more immediate threat from a panda. Got Monaco there. Monica. Moonco. Well, now they know now. And I can't thank them enough. A huge shout out. If you guys appreciate this event, be sure to thank Tiny for all the help that she contributes to our staff. Keeping this event running. All right, tuning in to Just Esports. 3 kills, all of which go to Hani right here. Hani's teammate Shagun is on the board. Goodness gracious. It looks like the crew in Wildcard Beta getting into some action potentially. Yeah, it looks like Fresh already got a takedown. And look at that. Growing Stronger's Tygon was in the vehicle with them. Oof. Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Wallace is taken down in retaliation. So now we got ourselves a 3v3 on our hands. James getting a little closer to the action. As you can see, Venture trying to enshroud themselves in a cloud of smoke, using what bits of cover they can. But the nade just rains hellfire on James, and he is analysis right there and then. Tough call. We're going to switch it to the Criminales perspective. Let them have a little bit of screen time here as well. I know we got people here rooting for them, so. We got Haiku here coming in with that UMP, but oh, the headshot just gets him in the last moment. Ooh, baby. And he does get the finish there. Now it's all riding on him. 1 on the board right away. All right, well, he's going to go ahead and advance. Here we go. This is the likes of Criminales for 7C here. And, oh, that is a takedown by Softmax on one of the Criminales. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to round 2 of 3 of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in February tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen and Glacier Gaming. And we're going to be kicking off round 2, as you guessed it, a Miramar. What do we need to say about a map like Miramar? Essentially, it's the largest map that we have in the game. Well, technically that's not true, as Erangel is also an 8x8. That includes Erangel's Bodies of Water. So realistically, this is going to be the largest map that we are going to be working with, meaning that the odds of 2 teams landing next to each other just going to be a little bit slimmer. But as we all know all too well, it's also the most open map that we have in the game. Now, what do I mean when I say open? I mean the odds of you being, sniped from 300 meters away is just exponentially higher. So this is a map that finds itself very reliant upon the flight path to determine what sort of early game we end up getting. With that being said, let's see what we're working with. Okay, so it is not a centralized flight path, but it's actually a pretty good one, and here's why. I say this quite a bit, but if you were to picture, pardon me, let me get this all the way up to the top. If you were to picture Miramar as a circle divided vertically in half, well, the right half would have about 60 to 65% of the map's compounds and structures, and the reason for that being is this route that goes from Campo Militar down to the Valle del Mar. It takes you through just 2 different strings of cities and compounds with a ton of drop options. And the good thing is that this flight path divides that pretty much in half here. So they have almost all those same routes to choose from. So, yeah, let me kick this music. Hey, DJ, cut the beat. I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. I am the DJ. We got some early jumpers. 7C going very high northbound to Torre Ahumada. La Cabrera going to belong to One Blood. We've got the crew in, pardon me, this is going to be is that the Fierce? No, pardon, he's a member of the Fierce of working on Panda Esports going down to Puerto Paricio. Wow, we got the crew in Criminalis and looking like they might actually get some early altercations with the Phenomenal crew. I'm not sure, but isn't that the same altercation that we had in round 1? If so, that would be pretty interesting to keep an eye on. All right, look at that zone, ladies and gentlemen. It is an entirely westbound-oriented one, which is going to leave a lot of these participants here with a ways to travel inbound into zone. But for now, we don't have a lot of time on the board to wait. We got to tune in to the likes of Nuclear Power as they prepare to face off against GT Esports. I remember GT had some people on their team rooting for him. Ultron's already out of the equation, unfortunately, leaving it riding on Flash, Carnage, and Lazzy. And they're in fairly close proximity, as I said, to Nuclear Power. Justin? Hey, buddy. Sorry, man. So I recently, this is my third stream, event stream on my YouTube. We're trying to draw it into YouTube. So not as usual high of a viewer count, but this is just qualifiers anyway. But welcome in, buddy. That's my my college best friend, guys. Say hello to Justin Trong. He's pretty fat. I don't want to, you know, fat shame in 2023, but he's a little bit of a problem. It does bother. Like, I mean, to be honest, the YouTube channel, I'm not sure if we can handle that kind of bandwidth. Oh my goodness, there's Kirby with a nice takedown. S686, a little hardcore parkour to add on to it. Kirby getting chills just like that. All right, so we are going to take a brief moment to... Oh, actually, I take that back. Nucleotide Vendetta is coming into the mix. Pardon me, guys. I'm just getting used to this emulator here. Well, as you can see, we got Kabir driving right up next to the mix, but it's actually going to be his only remaining teammate, Tsukiyomi here, who's really up in the mix, swimming in a pool of criminals here. All right, well... Just like that, we see CFA going off in the distance as well as in-game. Let's go tune into in-game, get a brief eye on it just to see what they're working with here. Yeah, in-game already with 2 kills on the board, but it did not come without a price. It looks like Abso has been knocked in the process. Whether or not they're going to be able to stick a revive, I believe they should, as he is driving by because his teammates already seeming to be pulling it. Yeah, SNN, he's got his back. So they're going to be trying to pursue what remains of... the Greek Storm Fem group, and at this point that's going to be reduced down to Molly and Milky here. Pow and Millie have been already eliminated pretty early on. This is just stage 1, ladies and gentlemen, so keep in mind as this zone does decrease in size, the amount of damage will drastically increase, especially considering it's a RedEyes event. It'll be boosted, so be aware of that. All right, all the while, Phenomenal Crew is going to be facing off against the Criminals. Criminals looking in a pretty rough shape here with not a lot of health to speak of. And, oh goodness, yep, that is quick work. I tried to switch over in time, but following this guy's camera, not happening. So, where's the next bit of altercation going to come from? Oh, gosh, we don't really have much of a choice. We got 4 teams looming just on the outskirts of zone. We got Just Esports alongside GT. Just to the east of Nuclear Power. All right, well, this is that little calm before the storm scenario, so to speak, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just briefly get an eye here. Oh, my goodness, come on now. Sorry, I am still new to the emulator, and I'm trying to work it with my left monitor while looking at my right monitor. It's... I'm sure this is one of the things that just takes a little practice, but switching over to Winter, he's not really too eager to engage in the looming threat that is Nuclear Power, just for the sake of he's got some space. He's a little bit ahead of his team. Not really too much reason to go out for that fight just yet when there's still plenty of time laying ahead to get those kills come in-game. I may as well at least try to prioritize placement to some extent. All right, well, this is kind of what we're left with at the moment, which does bring me to a moment, guys, a brief moment of downtime. So while I got it, let's just talk about it. We are going to be working with a couple large maps today. Large maps, 2 out of the 3 matches that we're going to be doing, which does mean we are going to be working with downtime, pocket decided between this, but that's to be expected in PUBG Mobile. You know what I always say, ladies and gentlemen, is a more passive early game always directly translates to a more action-packed and climactic mid or end game. So it's going to be worth the trade if you ask me. Oops, sorry. If you're just tuning in, this is round 2. It's not supposed to be pressed, but whatever. Could have played it smooth, but I'm too honest. The streamer just called. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're just left with a little bit of, I don't want to say passiveness. Oh boy, Old Gangster's having a rough go of it. It looks like Pratty is taken down, leaving things riding on Jossie, Katri, and Star. Jassa already prioritizing the revive here. The inevitable push is looming, so that's going to leave Star with these 6X UMP-45 aimed over at the Wild Card Beta crew. We got Fresh here, holding position. Looking like they're going to be trading nades, trying to make it rain hellfire on each other. Ooh, Pratty taken down to about half health, but look here, Fresh is about the same. And Legend goes down just... Oh, revenge served cold and fast by Fresh. Taking him out in retaliation with a 6X M4, leaving things riding on Bacon and Fresh. Bacon trying to secure a revive, Fresh trying to do a little bit of the same. This is, at best, a trading revive scenario. As you see Jassa off to the side here, looking to cook up a utility or something. What is his plan? Oh, it's just to try to bow out of dodge, but this is Miramar. This is an open desert. It is not like to happen unless Excuse pushes up and third parties taking the pressure off of him. Ooh, but there he goes, running right in their line of sight. And yes, it's going to be shots from Excuse for Jassa taking a huge hit. Oh, and Excuse is in a 2-2 split. This is bad news bears for Jassa. And his moments are numbered, and boom goes dynamite, all too metaphorically. All right, that's going to leave Excuse and Alpha Beta to try to push each other off. They're both weakened from that altercation here. James still pushing up, even though he's just above half health. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I still getting used to the emulator. This is my 4th event now. 4th day of using the emulator. 5th day. Alrighty, guys. Well, Rand's firing away a little bit of high ground in his favor here. This is Rand's of Wildcard Beta. They're doing some work here on Excuse, who definitely have a lot of experience on all 3 of these matches. He's been a pretty prolific Tier 2 team in the NA community. So I definitely have high expectations for them in terms of synergy and implementing tactics. Alright, well, Fresh pulling a risky one here in a smoking vehicle, still committed to trying to rotate outward and get to a position where he might be able to pull a wide flank or get some sort of out-of-zone overwatch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to be watching on the Twitch, at least come over to the YouTube and say, hey, I'm here, because I will just go ahead and give you a heads up. Matches, well, the last match, at very least, will be Rosh from Excuse firing uphill bound at members of Wildcard Beta. It's actually his teammate who gets the takedown. We're getting eyes on James. I hear people talking about James in the chat here too. Speaking of James, here he is. No time to waste though. It looks like Wildcard Beta, the tides have changed in all too pessimistic favor. We got Bacon firing away, trying to get a little bit of hurt on him, but not getting any successful damage. Will his teammates be able to add on to it? No, Fresh is taken down instead. It's just more trouble for him. So this is a bit of a predicament for him, but I'm not going to waste time here. It looks like we might be getting well, actually, I think I will waste a little more time. Looks like Rosh from Excuse is going to take this fight on here alongside his teammate Draco. They got a little bit of a distance between them, and being as they are reduced down to a 2-piece, I actually do agree with it. I think that's the right move in this case. All right, well, he's got an element of surprise in his favor. Just to give you an idea, guys, let's get a, oh, goodness gracious, come on. Let's get a brief look here at just how this push is going. Rosh does try to get prone just in time, which does end up saving him from the knock. But boy, oh boy, did Bacon dish out a unholy amount of damage, reducing him down to below half health. Luckily, he does have a first aid and is able to implement it in time. It doesn't actually look like Wildcard's trying to prioritize finishing off what little remained of his health. Lucky for him. Well, Just Esports having at it in the distance. So we're going to get a brief eye on that. Just Esports with 3 kills to their name. Actually, to scratch that, 4 kills. And they are going to be able to secure the revive on their fallen teammate, Chopper. And they are in a little bit of a distant standoff here with the likes of Nuclear Power. And this goes to, you know, raise a good question here. In a map as open as Miramar, what is the right move in terms of positioning? Are you going to prioritize geographical, you know, cover, such as this hill ground, giving you that high ground overwatch? Or are you going to prioritize, as Nuclear Power does, the compound cover, low ground strat? I mean, obviously, they're not going to be able to really get any thirst on you without pushing forward if you do have that compound cover. In this case, I would actually go with the geographical high ground that Just Esports is doing. It does seem that, you know, just all you have to do is go prone and you're out of their line of sight. So it seems to me kind of a easy choice decision there. But we got the crew here in Team Mobility not far off from their opponents in Chick-fil-A, but I do see some people talking about OneBlood. OneBlood hasn't had a lot of screen time today, and the reason being is just not a lot of action on the board there for him. But as we switch over, we can notice McCreary is going to be trying to revive his fallen teammate here, SK460. That's going to leave it on Bing Bong and Slayer to provide overwatch and cover fire. And we see Slayer aimed outbound at the likes of Phenomenal Crew, but realistically, the looming threat should be off to his right with Chick-fil-A. But perhaps Nucleoside could take the pressure off of him. Yep, they are focusing on Phenomenal Crew. As we speak, we see Tsukuyomi here aimed outward with that M16 4X combo, but actually dealing out much less damage than he ends up taking here. So we're going to switch over once again to the likes of Nuclear Power. Looks like they got a takedown in the distance. It's down and reduced to a 3-piece of Lunard, Dougie, and Matoto. And they got a little bit of space in their favor here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Kalafu getting ready to fight against potentially members of In-Game and Ventru. We got walls of Ventru here up the forefront of this push with a 4X M4, and he is able to secure a knock on one of the Kalafu boys just then and there. He's got a nade with the purpose of thirsting here on his mind. Not really quite hitting the mark, but he's not too ridiculous as to put himself out in the open. Luckily, his teammate Nidison able to get the takedown from the side. Looks here like Kulafu is going to be distracted because of the push from in-game. Come on. Let me get over to him. There we go. We got Kiddo preparing for the inevitable push from Kulafu here, putting a little bit of smoke cover down. Kulafu does get key knocked. At this point, it's going to be reduced down to Spooky and Yun. All right, well, that's Hana Just Esports going after Excuse. Here we have it. Spooky trying to hold them at bay with a little bit of molly cover here. All the while, Yun approaching from the outside with that UMP in hand, UMP M16 combo. The bold move caught, and we'll see how it plays out. It looks like there is just some kills in the distance. XMP here. That's going to be Panda Esports going off in the distance. I am going to switch over to him in just a brief moment if the fight is still looming. But for now, I don't want to lose the action here. We got Spooky trying to stick the revive while Yun puts down a little bit of smoke cover. But the revive is not happening. Spooky, now reduced down to half health, going to utilize his fallen teammate's resources here. Hopefully prioritize here. All the while, it's going to be Yun to try to take the pressure off of him as he cooks up a nade. Thrown inbound. Will it connect? It does not. Well, it looks like Excuse having a rough go of it as they are eliminated right here in the distance, which is going to leave this the closest altercation on the board at the moment. Dash Dumb says, go Kulafu, I see you right now. Don't do it, I got you. Well, Yun is out of there. That's going to leave Spooky as the last hope. All right, guys, we are reaching one of the ending zones here. This is where it all goes down. We've still got literally over half of the still alive here at this beginning. Kulafu firing away in a position where he is just outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned against the in-game crew. All right. On that note, guys, we are ending the stream on Twitch, so thank y'all so much for tuning in on it. Where's the next bit of action going to come from, if not here? Oh, here. Kiddo firing away some distance shots that do not really get a lot of connecting damage there on their opponents in Just Esports. Speaking of Just, we are going to switch over to their perspective. They are already rocking 5 kills as a full 4-person team on Just right as I say it, take them down. Chopper soon to follow potentially, and look at that zone, ladies and gentlemen. Time and time again, I warn the participants of how a red-eye zone works. It's now 2 years. This is the first day to mark the 2-year anniversary of my tournament, and I've always boosted those zones. And so if you don't know about it by now, then you haven't been. All right, well, that is it for that Just group. It is down to Jakun here, and Jakun alone. Just holding position, trying to lay low under the radar, but taking zone damage when he really doesn't need to. He can just get... Alright, well, we're going to switch over to the likes of GR. I'm not going to watch him looming just on the edge of that zone. It's like my OCD is going to go crazy there. Just like move a foot ahead, get into position. Alright, Ventru. Ooh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Take note here. Of what Ventru is doing. We got Walls with a serious high ground advantage here. Keep in mind, advantage can be said with some context. He's outside of zone. But here we have another fight. Panda up against the likes of One Blood. And I know One Blood has been looking for him, so let's get it from their perspective here. As it reduced down to Bing Bong and Makuri here. Bing Bong with very little health to speak of and nothing in terms of meds. Apologize, Bing Bong and SK460. And Makuri. Goodness gracious. I've got to adjust the contrast on this monitor. It is... Oh, well. So he's out and down in. Look at thirst substance drowning. Makuri out for the count with the nade. An immediate thirst. Leaving it relying on SK460 and Slayer here, and Slayer is on fire with his moments potentially numbered. Luckily, it is not enough to burn the candle out, but the phenomenal crew will finish the job right then and there. All right, no time to waste. What remains of Nucleotide Envy, which at this point is Tsukuyomi and Kabir, preparing for an altercation here with the likes of not just Panda, but the phenomenal crew as well. We've got Shaki's daddy here. But ends up taking just a tad more damage than he's able to dish out, leaving Monko as the last hope. And boy, can he get it into zone? He made it in zone, or out of the dead zone at least, but was immediately picked apart by the gatekeepers. All right, switching my attention to the game, who have a nice opportunity to and even though the teams don't necessarily want to work together, it's hard to pass up an opportunity to just pick them off, making a peanut butter and Scrooge sandwich for the likes of GR. Okay. Neto firing away. 4X Scar L. Scaring members of Endgame. One of them, I said. It looks like one of the only remaining ones up. I take that back. He was able to secure a revive on his fallen teammate. Kiddo retaliating beautifully there with that 4X M4 with a takedown on a member of GR as well. Revenge search cold and fast. And look at this, 11 eliminations for Kiddo tries to add on to this onslaught, aimed outbound. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to just stay tuned into one fight. Let's try to get a nice bird's eye view here. And yep, nucleotide, Kabir getting some absolute monstrous takedowns on his opponent. I believe he was securing some thirst potentially, and he's going to try to enshroud himself in a cloud of smoke here to provide a little bit of cover from his opponents ahead in Chick-fil-A. And keep in mind, at this point, he is the final hope here for his team. So his goal is, you know, every second alive counts, because any slot has a significant point difference. I believe it goes up like 2 to 3 points a slot there at this stage. Now I'll have to check out the new scoring system. All right. Well, in game we see Abso getting a little bit confident here, driving aggressively into the middle of zone. I guess I shouldn't call it the middle of zone, the only one in zone so far. So he's got a little bit of an opportunity. I would argue that this remainder of zone is so open that getting there early is not necessarily going to be to his advantage. But Kabir of Nucleotide keeping it going. He's got another takedown. Look at this, responsible for all 5 of the team's kills. And now with a 6 knock, boom, 6 kill. Kabir of Nucleotide just dominating as a solo here. Wow. Oh! Caster curse is all too real. Nice. Look at that. Helmet getting an immediate wreck into endgame, but just taking it out. The second he gave up his location, it was like blood in the water, and the shark smelled it as Abso retaliates, serving him out real quick. So guys, we got ourselves a 1v1, a fair fight between Neto of GR versus In-Game's Abso. Ooh, that is going to be interesting. I'm not sure what he's got in terms of Abso has in terms of meds here. Oh, he's got 13 bandies, and he was able to utilize his last first aid. I don't think he's going to get a lot of opportunity to utilize first aids from too much from this point. So realistically, I think he made the right move. Why not get that last first aid out and utilize it while you know you can? The opportunities are going to come few and sparse at this point. This is where it all boils down to being able to act without hesitation in the moment and experience the clutch here. You got no backup. Abso going out with a push, taking a huge load of damage there from Neto. But boy, Abso had a real opportunity to get an easy thirst there if he were to just shoot beneath the truck, the hood frame, and above the tires. That would have given him the shots right through it, with his opponent having no opportunity to really retaliate there. But we all learn hindsight is 20/20 when you're a spectator. So let's give it up to the likes of GR. This is GR Esports, as they secure first place with 3 kills between Neto and Phoenix. Second place belongs to the boys and girls in-game with 14 kills between Key, Abso, and Kiddo. Phenomenal performance, and even further, while they might not have gotten first place, those 14 kills and a second place position gives them considerably more points from this match than the likes of GR. Third place is going to belong to CFA. Is that CFA? Yes, CFA. CFA is, of course, the Chick-fil-A crew. They're going to be taking that with 7 kills between 3 other members. Not a bad game for them either. We got Nucleotide Vendetta coming, or pardon me, other Nucleotide. Nucleotide, no, this is Vendetta. Coming in 4th place, but boy, Kabir, that's a heavy backpack, man. Very good effort on your end. Really prioritizing placement all the way to in-game, laying low and under the radar, letting those numbers dwindle down. Once he had secured some in-game, he just waited for the right opportunities to present themselves to him, and boy, did they ever on a platter, as he was able to work up 6 kills for the team on his own. Huge performance. We got Ventru Inc. grabbing 5th place this time around, and that's going to be with 10 kills even. 60% of those kills go to walls. Phenomenal Crew grabbing 6th place this time around, and that is going to be with 10 kills even, half of which go to dragons. We got the crew in Panda Esports grabbing 7th with 5 kills. So 8th place is going to belong to members of TMGG. That's going to be Team Mobility. Let's see here. Pardon me. Team Mobility grabbing 8th, but unfortunately for them, 0 kills to speak of. One Blood grabbing 9th with a big fat onion as well. Just Esports in 10th with 6. We got the Wildcard Beta Boys grabbing 11th with 6 as well. 12th place going to the Greek Storm Fem crew, and that's going to be with, unfortunately for them, 0 kills. And keeping up that 0 kill trend, we got Nuclear Power in 13th with 0. Kulafu is going to be taking 14th with 5. 15th going to Team Excuse with 3. Growing Stronger in 16th. Unfortunately for them, no kills to speak of. And once again, on that note, we got GT Esports in 17th with 0 as well. Followed by the Old Gangsters in 18th with 0. And 19th is going to go to the likes of CRM. CRM is the Criminals with 2 kills between Maz and Durkio. And lastly, 20th and last place belongs to 7C, but unfortunately for them, with 0 kills to speak of. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, you look at it, that's game over. But we still have one match ahead of us. Now, we've seen our participants on the very first map ever of Erangel, and now the wide open desert of Miramar. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, every map is geographically different, which means different strategies and they need to be implemented. And what works so well on a map like Erangel or a wide open desert like Miramar might not be the ticket for a lush condensed forest. I am, of course, speaking about Sandhawk as we return for our 3rd and final round in just a few short moments of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in February tournament qualifiers, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunmen and Glacier Gaming. Stick around. We'll be back soon. It's going to be Panda Esports. Yeah, pardon me. It's actually going to be Venture. Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking too seriously. That's that minute caster. First is all too real. But he just ripped apart there. Luckily, he got his crew here to try to retaliate, and revenge is so cold and fast as Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Wallace is taken down. Looks like their teammate Hubby has been knocked, unfortunately. Luckily for them, he's not the one closest by. Softmax has a real opportunity to catch them off guard. However, in doing so, he might end up flat. If he does, if he's able to take out 2 or 3 with him, it might be worth it. And there's 1 on the board right away. A huge shout out. If you guys appreciate this event, be sure to thank Tiny for all the help that she contributes to our staff, keeping this event running. All right, tuning in to Just Esports, 3 kills, all of which go to Hani right here. And Hani's teammate, Shaku, is with the likes of Kulafu here as we speak. So we're going to get a brief eye on it just to make sure we're not missing anything too extreme here. Gray trying to get a little scope here through the window. This is double board. Oh, the nade on Catry between them. And that's to be expected, you know, early game. Not everyone's looking for that early on confrontation, especially if you're just trying to get properly looted here. So I'm going to tune in for just a brief moment to Just Team9 here. Why? Because it looks like, yep, Winter's already been taken down, but it's retaliation. Oh, it's actually his teammate taken down as well. Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Wallace is taken down in retaliation. So now we got ourselves a 3v3 on our hands. James getting a little closer to the action. As you can see, Venture trying to enshroud themselves in a cloud of smoke, using what bits of cover they can. But the nade just rains hellfire on James, and he is... Yep. Well, that's Prey down, and his teammate Zerk trying to get a... Spooky with a beautiful takedown M4 hollow sight, too. And with that UMP, but oh, the headshot just gets him in the last moment. Well, that's going to leave Blizz, and Blizz alone, he's the last person left. He does some amazing damage to Softmax. His zone does the rest. Oh my goodness. That's a tough pill to, fat shame. He's a little bit of a problem. It does fall. Like, I mean, to be honest, the YouTube channel, I'm not sure if he can handle that kind of bandwidth. Oh my goodness, there's Kirby with a nice takedown. XS. Oh! Caster curse is all too real. Nice, look at that. Helmet getting an immediate wreck into endgame, but Legend just trying to hold position here. He does not want to give away too much info because he's just a solo at this point. He's swimming in a pool of enemies. He's got the old gangster to his left, GR in front. Oh, speaking of old gangsters, Catry and Kidstar are just eliminated right before our eyes. All right, this inevitable standoff here between the Phenomenal crew and Chick-fil-A continues to loom on here. We got InSync very low on health here, and just like that, Jikey with a nice finish, taking that guy out of the equation. And here we go. We got Lazzy engaging here with Honey Badger of all time, switching quickly to the UMP, but in that brief moment of switching, he is taken out of the equation. Ultron quickly soon to follow, firing away that M4 is down as well. That is going to leave everything riding on Carnage and Lazzy, and those crew are all Beta crew. We got Fresh here, holding position, looking like they're going to be trading nades, trying to make it rain hellfire on each other. Ooh, Pridey taken down to about half health, but look here, Fresh is about the same. And Legend goes down just... Oh, revenge are pulled him fast by Fresh. Curious how this is going to work out. Sopa with some more nades coming from where the first one came from, but unfortunately also not doing anything. Matter of fact, doing no damage at all, and taking a lot of damage from retaliation. Well, can't say he didn't put it. So we're going to go switch over and give... Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even think that Nuclear Power is even aware of the more immediate threat from a Panda. Got Monaco there. Monica. Runco. Well, now they know now. Of their opponents here in One Blood Esports. One Blood holding this... Oh, not holding this. Doing a 2-2 split here with two members prioritizing a push. And here we go. We got Lazzy engaging here with Honey Badger of all time, switching quickly to the UMP, but in that brief moment of switching, he is all boils down to being able to act without hesitation in the moment and experience the clutch here. You got no backup. Abso going out with a push. Taking a huge load of damage there from Neto. But boy, Abso had a real opportunity to ground it. Amakuri out for the count with the nade, an immediate thirst, leaving it relying on SK460s and Slayer here. And Slayer is on fire with his moments potentially numbered. Luckily, it is not enough to burn the candle out, but the Phenomenal crew right then and there. All right, no time to waste. What remains of Nucleotide Envy, which at this point is Tsukuyomi and Kabir, is preparing for an altercation here with the likes of not just Panda, but the Phenomenal crew as well. We've got Shockey's daddy here, but ends up taking just a tad from Catry and Kid Star to try to provide a little Overwatch, revives, and cover fire here. Well, what about switching our attention to Venture? Look at this. Venture with 8 kills, all between 2 players. Scratch that. Let's make it 9 as Taco gets another one on the board. Oh, Divine is out! Like a light right there. Goodness gracious, poor fella. Well, it happens from time to time. Of how a RedEye zone works. It's now 2 years. This is the first day to mark the 2-year anniversary of my tournament. And I've always boosted those zones. So if you don't know about it by now, then you haven't been. Alright, well that is it for that just for that is it for Excused out for the count, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Divine is out! Like a light right there. Goodness gracious, poor fella. Well, it happens from time to time. Well, luckily, Divine has his teammates Draco and James, but boy, they are both on fire, and the caster's curse is all too real. Good damage there on their opponents and Just. Speaking of Just, we are going to switch over their perspective. They are already rocking 5 kills with a full 4-person team. On just right as I say it, taken down. Chopper soon to follow potentially. And look at that zone, ladies and gentlemen. Time and time again, I will alone. Han 16. And Han is now potentially a solo. There's a dad joke. Boom. Well, switching briefly over to Ventru. Just as I do, Taco is down. That is going to be a dead Taco if Nidison can't do something fast. He's going to try to close. Keep in mind, advantage can be said with some context. He's outside the zone. But here we have another fight with Panda up against the likes of One Blood. And I know One Blood has been looking for him, so let's get it from their perspective here. It reduced down to Bing Bong and Makuri here. Bing Bong with very little health to speak of and nothing in terms of meds. The 6 knock, boom, 6 kill. Kabir of Nucleotide just dominating as a solo here. Wow. Oh! Caster curse is all too real. 4x Scar L. Carrying members of Endgame. One of them, I said. It looks like one of the only remaining ones up. I take that back. He was able to secure a revive on his fallen teammate. Just like that. Kiddo retaliating. Ooh, baby. And he does get the finish there. Now it's all riding on him. On the board, goodness gracious. It looks like crew in wildcard beta getting into some action potentially. Yeah, it looks like Fresh already got a takedown. And look at that, Growing Stronger's Tygon was in the vehicle with them. Oof. So open that getting there early is not necessarily going to be to his advantage. But Kabir of Nucleotide keeping it going. He's got another takedown. Look at this, responsible for all 5 of the team's kills. And now with a 6 knock, boom, 6 kill. Kabir of Nucleotide just... All right, guys, we are reaching one of the ending zones here. This is where it all goes down. We've still got literally over half of them still alive here at this beginning. Laffy firing away in a position where he is just outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned against the houses right there. And then... tough call. We're going to switch it to the Criminales perspective. Let them have a little bit of screen time here as well. I know we got people here rooting for them, so. There we go. We got Aiku here coming in with that UMP, but oh, the headshot just gets him in the last moment. It's going to be Panda Esports. Yeah, pardon me. It's actually going to be Venture Inc. And now, somebody else close. It's Rosh cooking up a nade, trying to make it rain a little bit of hellfire on his opponent here. Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking too much from the caster's curse is all too late. And so when I look at this, I'm going to get a little bit starry-eyed. And it looked to me like he was a solo. I'll adjust the lights for now. Alright, so that's coming down, and he is out of there as having a rough go of it as they are eliminated right here in the distance, which is going to leave this as the closest altercation on the board at the moment. Dash down 6, Goku Wafu, I see you right now. Don't do that, I got you. Well, Yun is out of there. That's going to leave Spooky as the last hope. Well, that altercation that has been brewing since the start of the match between Nucleotide and the Perilous crew, Phenomenal crew, well, it is drawn to an end, and it's going to be Phenomenal crew Sopa clutching it for the team, and he'll be able to get those revives off. Luckily for him, it's still early game, especially considering it's a RedEyes event. It'll be boosted, but be aware of that. All right, all the while, Phenomenal crew is going to be facing off against the Criminals. Criminals looking in a pretty rough shape here with not a lot of health to speak of. And, oh goodness, yep, that is quick work. I tried to switch over in time, but following this guy's camera, not happening. One on the board right away. All right, well, he's going to go ahead and advance. Here we go. This is the likes of Criminales. 7C here. And, oh, that is a takedown by Softmax on one of the Criminales right there in the game, who have a nice opportunity to in the and even though the teams don't necessarily want to work together, it's hard to pass up an opportunity to just pick them off, making a peanut butter and screwed sandwich for the likes of GR. He's taking the pressure off of them. Ooh, but there he goes, running right in their line of sight. And yes, it's going to be shots from Excuse for Chassa taking a huge hit. Oh, and Excuses is in a 2-2 split. This is bad news bears for Chassa. And his moments are numbered. And boom goes Dynamite, all too metaphoric here. Wallace. Well, Rosh not taking too much. That's that in the caster. It's all too real. Let's see, it just ripped apart there. Luckily, he's got his food here to try to retaliate, and revenge is served cold and fast as Wallace is taken down, or pardon me, Wallace is taken down. Looks like their teammate Hubby has been knocked, unfortunately. Luckily for them, he's not the one closest by. Softmax has a real opportunity to catch them off guard. However, in doing so, he might end up self-clapped. If he does, if he's able to take out 2 or 3 with him, it might be worth it. And there's one on the board right away. And I can't thank him enough. A huge shout out. Whoops. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's try that again. Wow. Well, super sorry about that, y'all. Don't know how the January file was still in my OBS, but welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our third and our final round of my very own RedEyes $450 Dead in February tournament qualifiers for Group A. And we're going to be ending the night, as you guessed it, a Sandhawk match. Now, what do we need to say about Sandhawk? Basically the exact opposite of our last match, which was Miramar, our largest map. This is our smallest. Now, technically, goodness gracious, Livik, Garrican, and now the new map Nusa are all tinier than Sandhawk, but we don't mess with those in scrims right now. This is the smallest that we got, meaning that the odds of 2 teams landing next to each other never been higher. But it's also the most condensed map that we have, meaning the most lush in vegetation. There's more natural cover to take, more grass to hide inside, and trees and boulders to hide behind. So you need to be alert for a higher than average number of snakes than usual. And the third and final thing is that the map is so small, it's pretty independent of the flight path. You can get anywhere you want just by deploying your chute early enough. Oh, we already got a fight going on here. Let's get a look-see here. We are gonna... Come on now. Get eyes here on Team 15. This is going to be the likes of... Yeah, growing stronger. Oh, and all the while, we got old gangsters facing off in the distance. Catry's already been eliminated. Oh boy, and Criminales are already in the action too with the Pandas. Getting eyes on Durkio, already equipped with that Honey Badger. Of conundrum here. It looks like is holding position. His teammate Durkio is out in the action here, trying to not getting any connecting damage there, leaving it up to Baz and Blizz, and Blizz goes down just as I caster curse him. Let's get eyes on the final remaining hope here. AZZ. Oh wow, it's still going on here. Is Excuse the final threat at the ruin. All the while, the old gangsters have the final criminal member sandwiched in between themselves and Panda, and just like that. Yep, AZZ is out of the equation. You know, for a brief moment there, I think I was looking at my iPad rather than the actual screen. Again, guys, this is my 5th day, I believe, using emulator after 3.5 years of casting from my tablet. So bear with me as I get used to breaking that habit. Let's see here. Getting eyes, I guess, for a brief moment. Yeah, Kulafu in a bit of a conundrum here. They've already lost Zertz. Cray is down, leaving it all riding on Yun and Wee here. Why? Wee. And boy, he is dedicated to getting that revive, and he does stick it successfully. And boy, with that Honey Badger, he puts an immediate end to the looming threat from Chick-fil-A. He's got InSync also knocked, leaving, I believe, Chick-fil-A riding on Dark Sun. I'll have to double check on this. Yep, Dark Sun is the final hope for his team. And he knows where Yun's location is, but with Yun having that little bit of hill for cover, it could be a predicament. Dark Sun does get him off guard, taking him down to about half health with that 3x M4 combo. All the while, GT Esports going off in the distance. Let's catch eyes. Well, with Lazzy down, everything's going to be riding. Oh, and Carnage now down as well. Shadow and Ultron remain to try to carry on the name for GT in this altercation with nuclear power. Shadow wrecking into his opponent with that Vector. Not enough people using the Vector these days, in my opinion. But Shadow clutches it for his team, and without losing a single member in the process, they were all knocked. But without them being killed, it's exactly as the scripture in the Bible of Fast and the Furious reads, the scripture of Vin Diesel. It doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. And even if you got those knocks, if you weren't able to secure those thirsts, it's all for naught. Excuse getting a takedown in the distance as they square off with Kulafu across the waterway. Rush with that 6x M4, responsible for the team's only kill and securing the knock on another member of Kulafu, which I believe was Cray. However, that revive was not too problematic for Kulafu. They had the distance and the cover to do so. So I guess that leaves us with the closest thing to an altercation remaining to be the old gangsters and the pandas for the time being. So while I have a brief moment with you guys, we're going to go over the structure and format as it stands. However, keep in mind, the graphic has not been updated to accommodate the new structure. I will go over that as we speak here. So, and where are you? Here we go. As it stands, we have 20 teams competing. Of those 20 teams, it's actually 4 teams that'll advance because we run 3 qualifiers rather than the 4 now. So it's 12 qualified teams plus 8 invited Tier 1 teams where they all duke it out at the finals for that proverbial $450 cash prize. All right, excuse not far off in proximity from Kulafu, or what remains of Kulafu, which is Yun, Cray, and Y. They keep in mind they did lose Zerk fairly early on, but this is still just the latter portion of stage 1, so we still have time ahead of us. All right, well, Excuse has taken Cray down to about half health, but with that cover he has here, he should be able to get healed up. Oh, he's only got bandies. Guys, thank y'all so much for your support today on the YouTube. I know the viewer count is not very high here in this last match, but keep in mind, this is, I guess, our 3rd event today of transferring over to YouTube. Only the 3rd. So altogether, I think we peaked at like high 20s, low 30s or something, maybe even low 30s. So, ooh, Y is down. So I think, you know, it could be worse, and it's a process for sure. And I will say, just you guys being here makes all the difference to me, so thank you so much for your support. Ooh, Cray is down, but Revenge served cold and fast as Young comes at him with that UMP 45, catching him off guard and securing the thirst before being eliminated in retaliation. All right, old gangsters and the pandas. I'm not too eager to stay here just because they have been on each other's maps here, I guess, in their line of sight, in their bubble of personal space since the beginning of the match, I believe. And so with that much time having loomed between these altercations, I think it could just be a little bit too much to worry about here. But one blood going off in the distance. I believe that was Slayer trying to add on to what his teammate was able to start as they fire away at the Phenomenal crew. Their high ground advantage here, but Bing Bong taking damage from the side from Sopa, another member of Phenomenal crew. And just like that, Makuri is downed in the process, bringing him down to a 3-piece of Bing Bong, Slayer, and SK460. And, ooh, Bong does get the smoke on his fallen teammate, but in doing so, turns his back to the opponent, and that was all the opportunity they needed. Slayer still focusing in on Sopa when maybe the move might be high ground. Ooh. That's never happened. Don't worry if it is the case, ladies and gentlemen. I've got my iPad here ready and waiting to go. But, tell you what, yeah, it's frozen, it looks like. So I'm not going to waste time. We'll go ahead and get this plugged in while we wait to see if this comes back. I've never, had this happen on emulator, but I assume that it happens occasionally. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. My apologies. Video capture device. All right, we're getting it here, guys. Just a moment. Oh, downloading firmware? You're kidding me. Oh, that's not good. Well, I guess I can use my phone. If we need to, I can use my phone. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start it up, guys. I am sorry about that. Wait. Tool set. I know there's got to be like a refresh here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. What am I doing? I can just restart from here. I hope that didn't kick you guys out too, but we'll see. Game loop. My sincere apologies about that, guys. That's why I had the second device plugged in, just in case anything like that might happen. But apparently I haven't used my iPad in so long that I didn't have the firmware. All right. Oh, that scared me. All right, it wasn't even 3 minutes. All right, well, I think we got a fight looming off in the distance, so we're going to go ahead and switch over it. Yeah, GT facing off against their opponents here in C17, which is, of course, the likes of in-game, and boom goes the dynamite all too quickly. Lazzy, Shadow, and Ultra on the main. That extra IT firing away to taking a huge load of damage in the process. And ooh, with James being eliminated right then and there, it's all down to him and Rosh. He goes for a drop shot, but it's all for naught. I'm looking at the wrong freaking thing. I was looking at their opponents here. I'm sorry, guys. Boy. It is a process of getting used to this. But GT, I mean, I was watching the same fight in all fairness. But GT Shadow going to try to hold off the looming threat that is in-game here. All the while, Just Esports facing off in the distance. Let's go switch over to him. It looks like this could be a bit of downtime here, so we are going to switch him over. At this point, it's 4 kills on the board, and they secure the placement and take out their opponent. Nicely done. That's going to leave the altercation here with in-game and their opponents in pardon me, goodness gracious, in GT Esports to be my main focal point at the moment. But we are reaching one of our ladder zones here. So well, this is a bit of a waiting game here for Lazzy and Shadow, and truth be told, I don't blame them. They're kind of outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned in this position. But Lazzy with that... Oh, for a second I thought he was going to be able to clutch it, but now it's all looming on Shadow, who comes in with a UMP of his own. But boy, I think we're seeing more and more frequently the Honey Badger being used out of preference. I like it. I think it's actually a pretty darn powerful gun. If you're in a CQC situation, that recoil should be fairly manageable. Shadow going to try to prioritize the revive, while Kiddo is still right here. UMP in hand, he goes in for the push. Dishing out about as much damage as he takes, and it was a close one, but ultimately, Chopper coming through and clutching it. Well, no time to waste, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get eyes on what remains of GT at this point. I guess, pardon me, GT is what we were just watching. Let's get eyes on... yeah, GR is what I meant. GR Esports, and they are up against the likes of Just here now. At this point, it's all riding on Gentlemen. And here's those shots in the distance. Who's it from? Oh boy, it's Phoenix, his teammate, who has now secured a kill for himself and the team's 4th. But keep in mind, the lack of teammates here is going to bring, Phoenix and Gentlemen down to a 2-piece, meaning that they're going to absolutely need to dial things back in that all-out aggressive. Oh, Phoenix taken out from behind. He turned his back to Wildcard. Oof, you hate to see it. Well, we got 7C in a standoff here with One Blood off to their southwest. Keep in mind, 7C, if memory is correct, which I could be wrong about this, I might not be right, but I know at least one of their 2 matches, I believe, if I'm correct, did not fare out very well. And I remember it's not because of placement. I believe they secured a decent placement, but it was in terms of their kill count. And I'm seeing a little bit more of the same here. Now, I'm not sure about 7C and experience or in general, but if you are to try to advance onto my finals, only the top 20% are going to make it. So yes, placement is imperative. It goes without saying. Placement's extremely important, but it's not enough to seal the deal most often. So you're going to have to become comfortable in your close quarter combats, your one-on-ones. You're going to have to be comfortable taking on fights if you want a shot at moving forward. All right, getting eyes on One Blood here. If you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the 3rd and final round of my own RedEyes $450 Dead in February tournament qualifiers for Group A, brought to you and sponsored by Hunter of Gunman and Glacier Gaming. Well, come on now. Ooh, Slayer's position did end up getting out, but in just as soon as he fired, it was just giving up his location to their opponent there to his right from 7C. Now at this point, 7C has 3. Oh. How many do they have here? Now jumped from 0 kills to 5 on the board in a matter of brief moments, proving that, yeah, these guys are not afraid at all of their confrontations, as I was questioning earlier. No, those guys, they can handle their ones very well. It's just they were prioritizing placement. I can't believe that. Oh, Fresh with a beautiful knock onto the Greek crew with the 4x M4. Wasting time. He's got his sights set on Gentleman. Final hope of GR, and boy, just wrecked apart there at the hands of Rand's. Rand's hands. Alright, so now it's the final zone, guys. We got 4 teams remaining, spread across 3 people. We got ourselves a 4v3, Wildcard Beta. We got Freak Storm Fem. We got 7C. And Phenomenal Crew. Legends getting a nice easy kill on Crew. And now, aiming in to just continue the punishment here. It's all down to Pow Pow now, who has very little in terms of health. 1 first aid remaining and desperately needs to utilize it now. We'll see if he or she can get it off in time. It looks like they are successful in doing that. Gonna try to do some quick work on the Beta crew, Wildcard Beta, with this utility, and it might work. Boom, baby! Ooh, that was perfect! Oh, man. Well, 3 teams now, guys. 2v2v2. A fair fight to end our 3rd and final round. Well, with that member of 7C knock, Vince was getting a little ahead of himself. But gosh, boy, Dope Boy is out in the dead zone and immediately taken out. And that was essentially a needless death, because everyone who knows about, even knows about my events, knows about the boosted zones. But if there's ever a time to expect it, it's going to be Sandrock. Phenomenal Crew. Boy, what a phenomenal ending. Beautiful utility finish, making it rain hellfire onto Wildcard, and a well-deserved gold medal here for Phenomenal Crew as they take first place with 5 kills, and 80% of those kills go to Sopa alone. Before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, any way you look at it, that's game over. Game over. Wildcard Beta, as we mentioned, 6 kills in 2nd place, but those 6 kills are just between 99 and 156. Pretty good effort. We got 7C securing the bronze medal with 6 kills. Coming in 4th, it's going to be the crew in Greek Storm Fem, and they'll be taken out with 5 kills between Milky and Pawpaw. GR Esports is going to go take 5th place with 4 kills, half of which go to Alien. GT Esports in 5th with 4 as well. Or pardon me, GR in 5th with 4, GT in 6th with 7 kills. 4 of those 7 come from Shadow. We got the crew in TMG, which is Team Mobility, securing 7th with 1 kill from FIN. One Blood is going to be holding 8th place, with 3 kills between Slayer and Makuri. Just Esports in 9th, and that's going to be with 5. Coming in 10th, it's going to be the crew in In-Game with 5 as well, 3 of which are from Sun. Or SNN, pardon me. Excuse in 11th place with 6 kills, 5 of which are between Rosh and James. Well, 12th place going to Nucleotide Vendetta. And looks like they had someone from the Christie fan club coming in and helping them out. Unfortunately, they're taking 12th place with just 1 kill from Karma. Growing Stronger, grabbing 13th this time around. And that's going to be with 4 kills, half of which go to Tygon. The Old Gangsters in 14th with 2, both of which are from JASA. The Pandas in 15th with 6. All right, sorry, just got to get these screenshots. 18th is going to belong to the likes of Kalafu. And they're going to be taking that with 4 kills, half of which go to Yun. We got Chick-fil-A in 17th with 1 kill from Dusku. Nucleo Power in 18th with 0. Ventru Inc. in 19th with 1 kill from Walls. And lastly, unfortunately for them, another rough game for the Criminals. And in this case, they're going to be taking last place with only 1 kill, and that is from Blizz. Well, let me see here. I wonder if I can just do this. Yeah. Well, I'll just go turn off the emulator. Ah, there we go. Nice. Okay. Highlighter off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, per the usual, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure getting to cast this Group A qualifier for you guys. Keep in mind, just a little bit of attention to it. I'm super proud to announce that as of this month, we just hit our 2-year anniversary of the Dead and Month tournament, which makes it officially the second longest running non-affiliated, non-Tencent associated PUBG Mobile North American tournament. And it leaves it as the only recurring North American non-affiliated event that combines the Tier 1 professional league with the Tier 2 and 3 open scrim community. So, if you're interested in registering for such an event, there's only one way to do so, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to be through my Discord. Now, what is the Discord, RedEyes? Well, guys, since you are asking, here's the link. Yeah. So, if you guys are interested in registering, we have 2 more qualifiers, 2 more opportunities to see if you can make it to those finals, the $450 finals. And that is going to be quite a little ways out, 9 days away, a week and 2 days out until our Group E qualifier. So you got a little bit of time to prepare. And that'll be going down, as I said, Wednesday, the 15th at 8 o'clock p.m. And then 8 days after that, the Group C qualifiers will be on that Thursday, the 23rd. And then the Sunday, February 26th, is where it's all going to go down, where we incorporate our, realistically, this time probably our 7 Tier 1 teams to duke it out against the qualified participants to see who wants that $400 first place prize the most. Only time will tell. Well, also, while I have you guys, I am a little bit giddy about this, and it is not by any means the cool guy thing to do here, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it anyway. What? Hold on one sec. Where's the Augie camera? But yeah. All right. So I am super excited about this because starting tomorrow, I will be doing some early access gameplay streams for Hogwarts Legacy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It does not come out until February 10th, but you know your boy got that early access from the deluxe pre-order. So we'll be doing 3 days of early gameplay, just trying to get a feel for it. It's going to be a laid-back vibe, no formal, no professionalism per se incorporated. So if you are looking for a family-friendly oriented stream, that might not be the version of my streams to tune into. Keep in mind, anything that I'll be casting is something that I'll be carrying myself forward in an entirely professional manner. And especially if it's a paid gig, if I'm doing something for an org, you can absolutely rely on my professionalism. However, when it's just my own personal gameplay, I like to have fun. I like to have it laid back. I like to rage, have all that good time. So that is going to require it to be an 18 and up stream. But it'll be streamed on all different platforms. No preference as to which one you watch on. If that interests anyone, not sure what time I'll be going live with it. Just some point tomorrow. Tomorrow, day after that, and on the 10th as well. Well, guys, I don't want to waste too much more of your time. As I said, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure getting to cast this for you guys. We're going to be back at you in 9 days for the Group B qualifiers. Be sure to join my Discord to register. I'm going to be going live now for some personal gameplay. If you like to watch Potato do potato things, come hang out. Otherwise, guys, I hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, who have a nice opportunity to and even though... All right, this inevitable standoff here between the Phenomenal crew and Chick-fil-A continues to loom on. Well, with that member of 17 knots, Vince is getting a little ahead of himself. But gosh, boy, Dope Boy is out in the dead zone and immediately taken out. And that was, especially considering it's a RedEyes event, it'll be boosted. So be aware of that. All right, all the while, Phenomenal crew is going to be facing off against Criminals. Criminals looking in a pretty rough shape here with not a lot of health to speak of. And oh goodness, yeah, that is quick work. I tried to switch over in time, but following this guy's camera, not happening. Actually, on the board, goodness gracious, it looks like crew in wildcard beta getting into some action potentially. Yeah, it looks like Fresh already got a takedown. And look at that, Growing Stronger's Tygon was in the vehicle with them. Oof. Get a crew. We got Fresh here holding position. Looking like they're going to be trading nades, trying to make it rain hellfire on each other. Ooh, Pridey taken down to about half health, but look here, Fresh is about the same. And Legend goes down just... Oh, revenge are pulled in fast by Fresh. Yeah, Ulafu in a bit of a conundrum here. They've already lost Zerg. Frey is down, leaving it all riding on Yun and Lee here. Why? Lee? And boy, he is dedicated to getting that revive, and he does take it successfully. And boy, that Honey Badger has a health. One first wave remaining. He desperately needs to utilize it now. We'll see if he or she can get it off in time. It looks like they're already successful in doing that. Gonna try to do some quick work on the beta crew, wildcard beta, with this utility, and it might work. Boom, baby! Ooh, that was perfect! Looks like their teammate Hubby has been knocked, unfortunately. Luckily for them, he's not the one closest by. Softmax has a real opportunity to catch them off guard. However, in doing so, he might end up if he does, if he's able to take out 2 or 3 with him, it might be worth it. And there's 1 on the board right away. The 6 knock, boom, 6 kill. Kabir of Nucleotide just dominating as a solo here. Wow. Oh! Caster Curse is all too real. Trying to add on to what his teammate was able to start as they fire away at the Phenomenal crew. Their high ground advantage here, but Bing Bong taking damage from the side from Sofa, another member of Phenomenal crew. And just like that, Makuri is downed in the process. It's going to be Panda Esports. Yeah, pardon me, it's actually going to be Venture Inc.